Hi, everyone. We are coming live again, and this is our second time coming live and talking about the life purpose of indigos, crystal children, and rainbow children. And I'm really blessed to have with me Ashley Cunningham. Super, super blessed. If any of you would like to go and check out Ashley on YouTube, you can find her on Ashley Cunningham on YouTube, and you can also go and check out her group on Facebook called Channeling with Love. And it just is so much easier when you just make your website the same. Channelingwithlove.com is just so perfect. And we are coming live right here in Intuitive Angel Messages on Facebook. I have been running this group for 2.5 years now. Pretty wild, hey, how the time goes by, and just what you can, the feel, the group, the experience you can create online to support and help and love and support each other. I just think it's really important. So I'm really, really happy all of you are coming on and joining us. Hi, Amy. Hi, Lotta. Hi, Elizabeth. So as many of you are going to be popping on with us, you know what we're going to be talking about today, which I'm really fired up about, and you know why.
Yep.
I have been talking about this quite a bit over the years because there was a time in my life where I didn't really fit in with what I was seeing around me. Okay, so I was always super high vibrational to the point where I annoyed other people. I don't know if any of you feel that way, but that was pretty much my upbringing. And I didn't really fit in with my siblings or my mom. It was until my niece was born where I was like, well, okay, this is a soul that is similar to myself. And as I moved along, I started learning about indigo. So we're going to talk about what is an indigo, what is a crystal child, what is a rainbow child, okay? And we're going to be also channeling our guardian angels on this topic as well as we move along. So it'll be really, really exciting to see what their feedback is. So I'm going to start off with saying the Mediumship for Beginners online course is coming up. Ashley started this with me, what was that, 2 summers ago? And yeah, the very first go around. And look at you now.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild how things can change in such a short time. But of course, the course isn't just about mediumship. It's not about being a medium. It's about connecting with high vibrational other people online and learning how your angels are communicating with you in ways that maybe you're not aware of, and also what you can do to communicate with them, and just bare minimum making new connections with high vibrational people in a wonderful group setting for 2 weeks, only $125, starting March 15th until the 30th for 2 weeks. And if you'd like to sign up for that, you can come check out my business page at Kristin Davies page on Facebook for more reviews, or you can also go to KristinDaviesMedium.com where you can look up how to sign up there, but also you can check out the testimonials there as well. What do you have to say? You're going to be coming forward again and helping me teach this one coming in March.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, it was really full circle. I started in July of 2018, and I took, at that time, it was like 3 months of training. So that was pretty extensive. I, after that time, was like ready to go, and I've been running my business ever since. And it's been a pleasure to come back to help others learn how to do how to channel, but also how to like just open up, be a little bit vulnerable in the space of connecting with spirit and trusting others and really connecting in a deep, really meaningful way. And it's just really, really fun. And it's crazy how fast it goes.
Yeah.
Like
2 weeks.
by. Yeah, it's crazy. And but so it kind of like permeates your whole day because you're wanting to connect with people and focus on it and practice and connect with your team. And it kind of becomes a lifestyle, and you kind of get used to it, and then you need to just keep doing it. And then, you know, down the road, a year and a half later, you're like doing it all the time. So,
yeah.
well, for my experience,
it is pretty awesome how you can learn how to do this, and then you can connect in with your team of angels. You can connect in with the archangels, the ascended masters. You can connect in with your loved ones on the other side. It's all energy, and it's all around us, and they're communicating with us all the time. It's a vibrational frequency that we can tune into, and it's just amazing to see the changes that I've seen in others that have come and taken this course. It's not just about mediumship. It's not becoming a medium. Okay, you can come in and learn the beginning steps of how to communicate with those on the other side that are all around you. But it's also about raising your own vibrational frequency, connecting with high vibrational people, having a fun time, learning some new tools. You know, it's and it's also something you can take around your own time zone. So there's people from all over the world coming in, and you can also, you know, pop in and participate when you can. So it can be taken around your own schedule. And then at the very end, the basic course material is going to be emailed for you to download. So that will be the pre-recorded video material along with ebook. And of course, we're asking for you to bring your deck of angel cards, because there's a way to use the angel cards that has much more of a direct response for you to connect with your team. But that is just the bare basic of what you're going to learn in this course for 2 weeks. I know a lot of other teacher mediums, they are popping in for a few hours here and there, maybe for a week or two. I'm a little bit more hands-on, and I put forth more of my energy and effort, and I know that you will be, and also medium Gloria Rice will also be assisting. So I'm super pumped about it. And so if you have any questions, you know, feel free to go to KristinDaviesMedium.com, and you can go ahead and email me through my website, or if you have any questions, you know, I'm open to having any questions. I'm always available, and you can just go ahead and also schedule yourself in to come and join us. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to start off with indigos, because I feel like this is kind of like my go-to sweet spot. And I've just been a book of knowledge with this over the years, because I didn't feel like I fit in with a lot of my family members. Now, some of my friends, I was like, shoo in. Why? Because they too were indigos. And it was just like such a perfect, seamless fit. Hint, hint, hey, Ashley. So you can see the difference between me and Ashley. Ashley and I are both indigos, but I'm 12 years older than Ashley. So there are characteristics that I have that maybe you don't have, and you have that I don't have. So we're going to delve into that as well. And as we move along, I'm going to start from the beginning, when I learned about indigos back 25 years ago, when I met Nancy Ann Tappy in person in the city where I was living with my mother at the time. So I'm going to come all the way full circle as to how I've learned about indigos. Nancy Ann Tappy was in the forefront. She is the first one who was able to see that there was a different color in your auric field. The life color is what she would call it. So you could say, okay, well, is this your life purpose color or your life color? It's part of why you're here. Okay, so it's not going to be defining you right down to a T. And we don't want this to be like labeling you or defining you. but this is definitely going to give you insights and maybe some confirmation and like, yeah, oh, that's what it is. And that knowingness, and then having a better understanding as to maybe a little bit more of what your purpose is here. Okay. So I'm going to start off with indigos, and then we're going to move into crystals, and then I'm going to let you take the lead on the end of the crystals and into the rainbows, because you have more experience with rainbow children. So I'm excited about this. And
Yeah.
I'm also, we'll channel our guardian angels a little bit more, because maybe we're missing something that we don't know, and Agnes will know. Okay, so I'm going to back the truck up, and I'm going to start off 25 years ago when I met Nancy Ann Tappy. And this lady was coming to my hometown. I was living with my mom at the time. I was having health issues at the time, living at home because I had to. And my mom said, this lady, Nancy Ann Tappy, she can see auras around people fully all the time, and she needs someone to drive her around because she can't drive a car, because she's just like seeing so many colors around people all the time. It's kind of difficult for her, and she's in a new town. And so in the spiritual group my mom was involved in, she said, oh, well, I'll volunteer and I'll drive Nancy around. So here I came bopping along behind my mom and helping to drive Nancy around. So the first understanding of indigos came right from the source, from the person who was seeing that color the first time out the gate. She was starting to see that the yellow and the magenta, which was with the older generation, was, people were passing on. She just wasn't seeing those life colors as much around people. And then, of course, we move along with the blue life color. If you're the one that's giving the shirt off your back to the point where maybe you're a little bit more of a doormat in life, then the chances are you're likely a blue. Blues tend to be, typically from what I have seen now, I'm not going to label this everybody's a blue but more on females are tending to be more on the blue. I have seen those who are violet, which is the next color. So we go blue to violet, and violet is, more seen, I've seen with males. But then again, my grandmother on my mother's side, she was a violet. So she held her own a little bit more, and she just had more boundaries. And so as we move along, we're going to move into indigos, because that's what we're talking about today, okay? And so every lifetime that you're living, you're learning and you're growing, and then, you're learning and growing on the other side as well. There's also resting, because we're going to need it after this go around, am I right? Rest time first, and then I'll learn some more, and then I'll come back to earth to learn some more. But as you move along, you learn and grow lifetime after lifetime. I remember Nancy telling me that my past 2 lives, I was blue life color.
Wow.
And then in this one, I'm indigo, and I felt it. Like I read up on it, and I looked at my friends, and then you can give her a picture and she can see the aura around people and say, indigo or whatever. And my 2 closest friends at the time were both indigo, and I'm like, I knew it. And my niece, Ashley as well, also an indigo. And my mom's like, guess what? You're an indigo. And I remember sitting there like, yeah, now what? Like, yeah, and like big whoop-de-doo, Mom. Right, and yeah, okay, all right. But when she had said my niece was an indigo, that made sense to me, because I could relate with her more. I just could associate with her more. I just had more in common with her, vibrational match with her. So that made a lot of sense to me. So here we are driving Nancy around. Nancy is going to be doing a lecture at the University of Lethbridge, Alberta in Canada. And there she was. And I remember sitting there and, watching her like with everybody else. Who is this lady? Who is this lady? She can see auras. And, she just described that this is a new color coming in on the planet in the aura. And she had noticed it was quite different. And the individuals that had this life color in their aura were quite different. There was a lot less, just hanging back, doing what you're told, just believing at face value. So some of the characteristics with indigos are you can sense when someone's not telling you the truth very easily. And if something doesn't resonate with you, you're just going to go and do it your way anyways. So if you want to call it some of the time rule breaking, you can go ahead and say that, because they're here kind of paving the way for the more open, maybe more high vibrational souls coming in on the planet that are more empathic, more open. And we're like, in the forefront. Shaking it up, basically put. And that's not always easy. However, I've learned over the years that it's better to have moments of short-term discomfort than long-term prolonged discomfort because you didn't speak up, because you didn't voice yourself, because you didn't say what you wanted to say, or you didn't do what you thought was best to do, and rather you just stuffed it down. So it's far better to just have that shorter period of time of discomfort, and vocalize how you feel. And then after a time, it just becomes like you're riding a bike, and then it becomes less uncomfortable anyways. So moving forward, we would say a lot of the older generation on Earth, I would say late 40s downwards into the 30s are all indigo, but I'm seeing indigos, right, a few of them even into the 20s right now, but they're different than me. They're different. Some of them are coming in with ADD, ADHD, and all of these other sensitivities, food sensitivities, gluten sensitivities, or possibly some of them have certain health issues because they're so open and so sensitive. And you would say that my wave of indigos that came in are not as empathic, we're not as open, and we're a little bit more bulldogish. We step up to the plate, and we're not afraid to kind of be more forthright. So once I was in contact with Nancy Ann Tappy, and me as an indigo, asking 1,000 questions because I'm totally curious and I have to know everything. Nancy, we pinned Nancy down there over lunch. I felt for her, but
she can't drive away. So
yeah, she can't drive away. Can't leave us now, Nancy. She was totally enjoying it, though. It was me and my mom. We were having a gay old time. And, it was just wonderful to sit and ask her a ton of questions. And it really is interesting because when I was younger, as an indigo, I was so much more like ready to take things on, and I knew the right way, and it was my opinion, and I know what's right here. And I wasn't, I would just tell you what's what. And I'd have a lot more judgments and opinions. And since channeling the angels over the last 15 years, I think what I've come to see is I don't need to resist or fight. I don't need to be so judgmental and opinionated and forthright, because they show me a different way. They often say, Kristin, allow others to be as they choose. Let them go their own path. But if they come to me and they're going to ask me any questions, then there's me and my opinion. But then I also like to filter it through. So if I get a pullback in my chest, I sit and wait, and I tune in to the guidance that I'm receiving before speaking. So if something's not feeling right and I'm kind of coming in a bit headstrong, I hang back more in weight. And I have much more of a softer approach than I ever did in my 20s. So, you know, I've learned a lot over the years and I'm really proud of myself, but Agnes has also kept me in check. So, yeah, thank you. I know it's been tough. She's just saying, you're welcome. But she's calm.
Mm-hmm.
She says, she's teasing me and laughing. She says that I can be a handful at times, but I can be. And so if I don't like something that's going on, I'm not afraid to speak up with her. I'm not afraid to speak up with anyone. And I think that's really, really important in life. And I think that is one of the most important things that indigos are teaching here on the planet. Speak up, speak your mind, question things, and don't back down. So your generation of indigo, let's talk about that generation because I know it's different than mine. I know you're indigo, but there's a blend going on.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, we're going from this and now we're blending into that. Some of us will blend a bit. So go ahead. I can't wait.
Yeah. So my flavor of indigo is a blend, as Kristin just said. I am a blend of indigo and crystal. So it's kind of like this transition, and there's a lot of indigos out there that kind of have some crystal qualities and have some indigo qualities, and they're kind of blending the two. I was born at the end of the 1980s. And I think around like the end of 1980s into the early 1990s, maybe even mid 1990s is really when a lot of us kind of blended indigo crystal people have come onto the planet to kind of bridge the gap between the crystal type and the indigo type. Because indigos, like we said, are like they shake things up, they speak up, they break from tradition. They're not going to just stand there and take it if they don't like it. and
I see moments with you like that. I see that in you, and I bring that out in you a little bit more. But then you the softer side, which you soften me on, which is pretty awesome. It's a win-win situation.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And in my style of being an indigo kind of with crystal properties, I do have a softer touch. I will basically, if I don't see something in my life that I like, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to change it, and I'm not going to like put up with it. And I just do it, and it like I've made the decision, it's done, and I'm moving forward, and it's just done. Yeah, and definitely my indigo flavor there. And then for the crystal side, I'm very, very empathic, and I didn't know what an empath was for a really long time, for most of my life. And like you were saying at the beginning, Kristin, you didn't feel like you matched or like meshed with people, and I definitely also didn't feel the same as a lot of my peers. And I was like absorbing people's energy and their emotions. But then I was also kind of had that indigo part of me where I'm just like, no, this is BS. I'm not dealing with it. So it's a really interesting blend. And crystals are really here, like indigos are here to shake it up. Crystals are here to kind of bring that indigo energy in and then help the next generation, which is the rainbows, to really manifest and shift us fully in towards going to the 5D. And crystals really blend that in together with their different characteristics of being very open and sensitive and empathic, very, very intuitive, but also like having that ability to kind of rely a little bit on the indigo characteristics too when we need to. So kind of blending the two together. And my style also, there's different styles of indigos or different types of indigos. I am a conceptualist type, so I am very project oriented, systems oriented. building things to make things better. And that's how I work in my full-time job. That's what I do, as well as, you know, me doing this work. And just in my life, I'm so focused on projects and doing like cool, fun things that I like to do, but it's really, you know, very project oriented. And that's the conceptualist indigo, really blending with my crystal qualities right there. And you have a different type of indigo.
Totally, and I have a different type of indigo. And I don't feel like I have the crystal qualities. I feel like the crystals really help to soften me. And there are 4 kinds of indigo. Okay, there's the humanist, which is me, interacting with people, talking, socializing. Humanist. Okay, I remember getting in trouble for being talkative at work. Some of my friends, when I was younger, were like, "Oh, you talk so much," and I'm like, "What?" And then, of course, you know, I enjoy talking. So that's definitely a humanist quality. Catalyst, or sorry, the conceptualist is the one, of course, that you've described, you know, maybe more kind of even behind the computer screen rather than in front of his video camera, if you know what I mean.
And then a little bit here.
A little bit more reserved. And then we have the artist, the indigo artist, which can be like a lot of the actors. And, you know, if a lot of the artists are into painting, drawing, that type of work and expressing themselves through that type of work. And then we have the catalyst, which quite honestly pushes boundaries a little bit more than the others. But again, I have not met one. I don't believe I have. I've definitely met other humanist ones and conceptualists and artists, but I don't believe it's very rare to meet the catalyst one. And of course, you can find all of this up on Nancy Ann Tappy's website online. You can also research, you know, indigos, crystals, and children online as well. And you can say indigo life color in Aura, and you'll get a lot of information as well. And, you know, Nancy Ann Tappy has since passed away as of 2011, but her website's still up. And the amount of information, oh, yeah, Chatterbox Central, yeah. I've slowed down a lot over the years. Age has leveled me out. Thank God for all of you. Seriously. So a lot of the indigos will even try to tune out the dense frequency here, or the dense environments where they are living at home with alcohol, weed, other drugs of choice. So there's a lot of numbing going on. Yep. And no longer. So I'm really happy to be on this path. The numbing is the easy way, and I have walked it. I've lived it, and this path is a lot more resting, relaxing, and taking better care of myself, and eating better, and facing things when they need to be faced. And this is just more of a direct approach, and it forces you to deal with things and balance yourself out and level, you know, be real with yourself. So it's a much better path for me.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that really, really quickly. For the conceptualist, I feel like that also really hits home for the conceptualist, like the numbing element of it, like burying yourself in projects, focusing so much on work, focusing on, you know, the things that you like to do, maybe behind the scenes work that you can get really buried under. And as a conceptualist, before I had kind of my spiritual awakening moment, I was really guilty of doing that. And I didn't recognize that that was a way that I was just kind of like numbing. I was just diverting my focus. Yeah, I was tuning out in my life. And then I had my moment. And then I was like, what the heck am I doing? And then like you were saying, like this life path, being connected to spirit, even if you don't do it as a profession or if you don't do it all the time, like just being connected for yourself really makes you have to take a look at and deal with things in a way that isn't always comfortable, but it's definitely worthwhile in the end to kind of move through it and be much more balanced. And since I've kind of been connecting to spirit like through your classes and then moving forward, I've been much more balanced in recognizing when my conceptualist, like indigo self, really kind of tries to take over and be like, okay, I got to zoom in on this. I got to like work 50 hours a week to get this done because it's so important, and it's not really. And
justify it. Yeah.
Yep.
And redirect and focus. You know, some of the indigos, they have a lot of anger. There were moments where I was quite angry too. I'm like, what is this? I've got dropped here in this family that the dynamic doesn't work. You know, some of it works, some of it doesn't. I feel like I'm going to outgrow this family unit. And, that's meant to toughen you up. It's also meant for you to learn and grow from and transmute, because the indigo is meant to help others here. They have a purpose, and there's always that strong desire, like, I have a purpose to do something more here, but what is it? What is that purpose, right? And so here you are numbing yourself and you're angry, and so you just come to a point where you simmer down, and maybe that's in time over age, or maybe that's just a decision that you make. You make that decision to connect with other high vibrational people online or in person that help to raise your frequency so that you're not angry and heated, and allowing other people to be as they choose, which is not always easy for an indigo. And I get put in check often, and they show me the way, because when I'm channeling them all the time, I come to see that they're not heated, they're not angry, they're not upset. Okay, so some of you could say, well, they're not living here on Earth, but you can make it what you want it to be. You get to choose your own frequency, and you get to choose your own reality based on what you focus your thoughts and attention upon, your feelings and emotions. So it's a process, and you will get there, because, I mean, heck, if me and Ashley, well, it's always a process. Don't ever think that, we got it all figured out. Yeah, we're like, now we're on a tropical island with a virgin pina colada. No, we still have our moments, but they're fewer. They're fewer, and I'm not as heated as I once was.
Steady,
more steady.
Much more steadier than I was before. Yeah.
And Africa is here in the house, and it's 5 a.m. God bless you.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank goodness. You made it. So, you know what? You can make things easier on yourself, or you can make things harder on yourself. And sometimes indigos love to make things harder on themselves, don't they? Oh, I know I did. And I still do at times. So I also get put in check too. Another reason why it's important to tune into your team of angels and be able to communicate with them, because nobody's going to know you better than your divine team of beings here with you. No one's going to know you better, and they don't take your guff, and they don't feel sorry for you. There's no pity party here. There's no telling you what to do either. They give you options, and sometimes they do have a way of communicating that is like asking you a question, making it obvious to you that this path is not working. It's funny. It's fun to be fiery. Yeah, in small doses it is, but to be heated all the time is exhausting.
So it wears you down.
It's like, what am I here? What am I here on Earth for? I've been there. I'm here to make an impact by changing my own frequency, and I'm going to function and operate differently here than out here, and I'm going to make it wonderful right here. And it's going to be awesome, and I'm going to impact and affect those around me, and I'm going to connect in with other high vibrational people so that we can make a nice big unit, a nice big support system, and that you don't feel all alone like a black sheep in the family, right?
Yeah.
So simmer down. Yeah. So let's move into crystals, because I remember being probably about 28 when I was, no, probably like 29. I was cleaning homes at the time. And I remember seeing these kids in the homes where I was cleaning, and I'm like, wow, these kids are different. They're a little bit more sensitive and gentle than what I was, and more quiet, more sensitive, more into music, um, more sensitivity with their food, their diet, allergies, uh, loud noises. I even found that they really loved certain kinds of music or being alone and quiet time and going out in nature a lot, connecting and grounding out in nature. So, yes.
All of that describes my childhood. Well, I was Indigo. It was so funny. I was like 12 or 13, and I don't know, I did something stupid, and my parents tried to like ground me, but they were like, I can't send you to your room because that's what you want to do. So they made me sit on the couch and hold my sister's hand because we were like arguing. And that was torture because we just ourselves. We just wanted to like be away from everything, like read our books or listen to music, like just be quiet. And my parents learned quickly how they could really punish us was so yeah.
Whereas if you put me in my room, that would just be like no fun. Like, no, I'm climbing out the window. Just kidding. But I thought about it. So like, that was not fun. Or, my mom, she used to have a pancake flipper, and she just pulled the drawer open and you knew she was going for the pancake flipper. And we're like, shh, shh. Like we never actually got hit with it. And it didn't even hurt the one time she got me. I was like, all these years and it doesn't even hurt.
The mystery is been revealed.
We were like chatting it up all night, me and my younger sister. So yeah. So crystals coming in, a wave of crystals, younger generation, coming in on the planet in order to lift and raise the vibrational frequency here. And they're a bit softer, more gentle. Although I've seen some crystals speak up, and when they do, they really let it out. It's almost like they hold back and they don't speak up as much. And then, ooh, where'd that come from? Well, tell me how you really feel. I'm here waiting. I've been waiting here for a few months now, and now it's go time. Let's let this unfold for the next hour.
Yeah.
So crystals, some of the characteristics of crystals, if you were to read them up online. And now again, this could be you, it could not be you. If it's some of it's you and some of it's not, that's okay. We're not placing labels. We're just saying, okay, this might be something that resonates with you and you have a better understanding of maybe what your purpose here on life is. Often quiet, empathetic, even having heightened telepathic and psychic gifts. Deep connection to nature, and often incredibly clear about their purpose for being here on Earth. So, I think that, for example, me and Ashley work well together because she can soften me a bit, temper me a bit. She just kind of sees things from a point of view where I go, yeah, that's the easier path. Why am I making things hard? Yeah, that's good. And then I also can fire Ashley up a little bit, because that crystal side is there too. But, what I've come to see is there's a time to push against the system and buck against the current to make yourself known or heard. And then there is a lot of the time I'm hearing from the angels to take more of an approach of allowing others to be as they choose, and you go ahead and walk your path and you do your thing. What do you want to say about that, Agnes, about the indigos moving forward and also the crystals' life purpose moving forward? She says, oh, let me tell you, the indigos are a handful for us angels. It's a tougher path for us too. But we are up for the challenge, and we wait patiently for them to find their way out of the darkness and into the light, out of the woe is me being here on earth, ingesting substances to numb themselves, to temper themselves, because sometimes they get so heated or upset with the way things are going on here on earth that they choose to focus on drinking and partying or some substance of choice in order to deflect. Okay. She says, whether we get it in this lifetime or the next, they will be here walking this path with us, and they will be patient with us for however long it takes. That being said, many of you indigos are going to step up to the plate. She's using me as an example. She said, we finally got her. We finally helped to get her here. We finally helped to get her here. And it wasn't always easy, this path, this journey. It wasn't easy to see Kristin suffering or self-sabotaging or self-abusing herself or self-harming through the substances. She says, although some of the time, a lot of the time, she says, a lot of the time, I would be, self-harming with these substances while having a great time doing it, laughing and having a lot of fun. But that does take its toll on the vessel. It does take its toll on the body. And now she understands that. And she also understands that in order to create balance within and to place your primary focus within, to make the changes within, it's important to let go of numbing yourself or deflecting from what needs to be paid attention to. Okay, so she wants to talk about crystals now. Softer, more gentle, more open, more empathic, more sensitive to the vibrational frequency here on Earth. She says you can look at it like it's the indigos are coming in. They're also very sensitive, and they can be very open as well. And there's varying degrees and different types. And then you move into the next generation, which is even more sensitive. Okay, so it's fading into more sensitive, more open. Okay, and then we're moving into the younger generation, which is, she's just showing me a big heart. It's just a big heart. It is more love centered. And this is the direction that we are going on planet Earth today, moving forward. More energy, more archangels, more angels, more ascended masters, more ET energy is all coming here to Earth in order to help raise the vibrational frequency here and helping with this shift here on Earth. And more souls are incarnating here on Earth in order to inhabit vessels, in order to be on the ground in the forefront, making the same changes within first, which can be bumpy at times to make those changes within, and then stepping out and helping others do the same. Should they wish, should they choose. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, so moving from crystals, unless you want to talk a little bit more, let's see a few questions, if we have any questions here, and then we're going to move right into rainbows, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, moving up. Okay. You'll know if you're an indigo or a crystal, and you will definitely know if you have a little bit of characteristic of or a blend of the other. It's not always set in stone, and of course there's different types, and of course there's blends, and of course, there's different experiences on earth. We say, well, what is my life's purpose? That's one of the main questions we hear, isn't it, Ashley? Like, what is my life's purpose? Sometimes your life purpose is just being a fantastic person to everyone. You always have a smile on your face. You're the best neighbor. And a lot of times the angels just applaud you and, just thank you for incarnating here on earth. This is what I hear during readings. They're thankful that you showed up in order to have your bright light impact and affect others here just by being here. The collective consciousness is affected by your frequency just by being here. You don't have to be the most perfect human being on the planet. They're just happy you showed up. That's it, number one. And then number two is you're kind and loving towards others. And boy, I know when you're praying and talking to your team of angels because they tell me. So when you're asking them to help you, then they can come in and help you in your life even more. Why do it alone? That's the slowpoke way, and it's the harder path, and I don't recommend it because I've done it, and it's not much fun.
No,
right?
definitely not.
No, did it, done it.
Yeah, before I started communicating with my team, I remember just feeling like really alone and just scared, just scared all the time for no reason. There was no like big thing that I was afraid of. It was just like being, I guess, frail, like really human, just always being in a vulnerable space.
I feel
exactly.
loved.
Yeah. And then when I connected and I felt that energy and I was able to ask questions, I just don't, I mean, I still have some fear, like you can be afraid to like cross the street, This is a busy street, like you have to like take precautions, but I don't have that fear anymore, and my confidence has risen, and I'm just more outspoken, and I'm just able to show more of who I am, and just being able to do that is really, really big. Even if you're not planning on doing anything else, just doing that, showing up and just shining your light,
and knowing more of who you are, rather than feeling lost and alone here. So can I emphasize enough how important it is to connect with other light-filled people in your life? And if you have super heavy people in your life, look around at the 10 top people you spend the most time with in your life, and you'll get a good idea of where your vibrational frequency is. So it's really important, as to who you spend time with on a regular basis. And, connecting with other like-minded, heart-centered beings online, whether it's through our spiritual groups, like we've mentioned previously in this recording, or, other groups. There's thousands of spiritual groups on Facebook. That's one thing Facebook is really good for, are the groups to connect and have private. And we'll put all those links below this video as well afterwards, and in the description as well. But when you connect in with your team, you realize, oh, I'm never alone. Like never. And how do I even know where my team is? Any one of us can do that. We just tune our mind out and still and quiet our mind, and we can just see where we feel warmth or pressure. And your energy field is being impacted by their energy field, and you will know exactly where they are. And you can always ask them, come in closer, expand your energy. I really want to feel you. And your job is to sit there quiet and just feel it. And then you'll know what they feel like, and you'll know where they are. And then they'll start communicating through your chakras. You can ask them a question. They'll give you a no response or a yes response, and you can start chatting with them all the time. But there's just so much more to show you if you would like to come and join us for the mediumship course for beginners, which is coming March 15th. Okay, so moving forward with the rainbows, I'd
Mhm.
like to hear more of your experience, Ashley, about the rainbows.
Yeah. So, characteristics of rainbow people is exactly what Agnes said, just love. So much love. There's just so much creativity, love, light bursting out of these people. They're so peaceful, I think is a good term. And I have a few family members who are rainbow children. They're very young. And it's just amazing to see how they interact in the world. They don't have a lot of fear. They're just so loving, and they're very technologically advanced. Like they can, my niece, she's 5, and she can just get your phone and like get it unlocked in like a second. And it's like blows my mind. And yeah, so they're super technologically advanced, and that's just because rainbow children, rainbow people, they're typically born around the 2000s and later, so they're living in a world where we have access to information at our fingertips like at all times. And so their construct of what our reality is like is very, very different than maybe, you know, how we saw the world before the internet and then after the internet. And so super technologically advanced, sometimes scary intuitive, not scary as in like freaky, but more like, wow, that was so spot on, oh my gosh. Kind of like, that's so cool. And just really, really sweet. Again, very, very sensitive. Like the crystals are very sensitive and like their food and everything. I've seen a lot of the rainbow, well, I haven't seen a ton of rainbow people, but definitely all of the rainbow people I've met have very specific diets. Like they like certain things, and that's what they're going to eat. They're not going to like go out and eat a ton of stuff. They're very specific, and really creative, very loving, just happy. Like it's really interesting to see with that blend of being so sensitive. Often when you're so open, you're not always like happy, you know, chipper, because you're sensing and getting a lot of other people's emotions. But what I've seen of some of my family members and others that are around their ages, they're just like,
They must be bringing in a lot of light with them, don't you think?
oh
And
yeah.
maybe this light is streaming into their vessel, and so they're just so vibrant and open, and there's no fear. There is no fear. We are the only ones here on earth
Mhm.
creating the fear. And, you know, I really have to say, in my day-to-day life, I really question that this is something to even be concerned or worried about, you know, because I don't really care to have my frequency go in that direction. Rainbow children, I find, have really bright eyes, big bright eyes, and they're so expressive and they watch you. You know, they're
Mhm.
really watching and observing.
Yep.
And are you finding that with your nieces and nephews that they're turning away meat or anything low vibrational to eat, or are they just kind of open for anything?
My nieces and nephews definitely are not, they don't gravitate towards a ton of meat. I think I see them eat more fruit than anything else.
Wow.
Fruit
Yeah, they
and
love fruit.
veggies, but not like a ton. But there's certain meats that they like. I think I've seen them eat more like chicken than like beef. You know, just lighter types of meat. But yeah, I haven't really seen them eat a ton. They honestly seem like they don't eat a lot of food. Like we have to really like sit down with them to
Well,
have
because
them
they
food.
have so much light emanating from them, they're getting that energy from that source rather than their food.
Yeah.
So a thought. I've seen some rainbow children and they refuse to eat hot dogs or anything that is processed, or they're just like, yeah, right.
Mhm.
I'm not going to touch that, put that in my body. So here's a question. Why are rainbow children called rainbow children or crystal? Are their auras rainbow colored or white? Like I know with crystals, for example, it is like a luminescent type of
Mhm.
white color within the aura.
Mhm.
And I'm going to leave that rainbow question in your hands. I haven't read up on that, but I'm assuming that that is a color, like probably like a rainbow type effect within their aura. And
Exactly.
look
Yeah,
at,
it's almost like, and my guardian angel Pedadiah is putting this picture in my mind. It's almost like their aura. You know how like oil is on top of water and then it gets
oh
like that
yes.
shimmery effect? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of almost like that. Like it's shimmery and it's got all the different colors. And that totally makes sense because they're like so high vibrational and they're emanating so much light and they're really not bound, you know, in this a single color like focus. They can really go and focus in on anything that they want to do, but they're really, really high vibrational, and it's really, they're the ones who are going to be creating our world going forward and really shifting our reality from like a 3D to more 5D and really like moving us forward. And we're already seeing that in a lot of the younger generation around environmentalism, really taking care of Gaia and not purchasing a lot of the processed foods and the plastics, and
Plastic.
starting to really influence the market. Yeah, because I've read up on it, and I've seen a few different opinions around rainbows, specifically either around 2000, 2001, or there are some people who argue there's kind of a crystal rainbow blend, and then full rainbows have started coming in around 2015. But and I'm sure there is some of that blending between crystals and rainbow, but I think 2000s, like the last 20 years, it makes sense that there's a lot more rainbow beings, children, people, and they're really starting to come of age and make market decisions. I mean,
Yeah.
our markets have our economy has changed quite a bit and will continue to shift because of decisions made by younger generations. So it's really fascinating.
I'm just going to see what Agnes would like to say about the rainbow children and or energy coming onto the planet. She calls them a godsend, literally sent from source in order to help lift and raise the vibrational frequency here. They're a blessing to you all. A great blessing to the collective consciousness here and to the earth herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lada is telling us here that her 9-year-old son is a rainbow child, and he is very technical but artistic, and he is just the sweetest soul. You know, Lada, aren't you lucky you had a sweet rainbow instead of an indigo kid, huh? I often look back and I say, my poor mom. And I've even said it to other indigos that I chat with. I'm like, so how was it for your mom growing up? Was it hard on your mom? Oh yeah, it was hard on her. It's hard on her now. You know, because we're just like, you know, we you can't just go and tell us what to do. We're not going to listen that way. It's just not probably going to happen. We might a little bit, but then we're going to go do our own thing behind your back anyway. So really, we'll pretend to listen to you, and then off we go.
It's like herding cats.
Yeah, like herding cats, exactly. Here's the question: is most of the planet still blue and violet? Is most of the planets? Yes. The mass majority of the planet is still blue, violet. Some of the souls who are still here are the older colors. But you got to think years down the road. Here's me interrupting my guardian angel. Sorry, but you think years down the road. You know, magenta. My nana was a yellow. You know, she's passed away, and then us indigos are going to be the oldies on the planet, and then we're going to trickle along, and we're going to have other souls even past the rainbows, which I believe we already have. If I'm not mistaken, it's the sun children coming in next. Am I correct on that? Sun children, I think, is the next. We'll look it up and find out after, but we're focusing primarily on these three today anyways. But, you know, we will continue to have more high vibrational souls incarnating here with a lot more light. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted. She doesn't care if I interrupt. She's telling me that. She's like this. Like she doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care. Okay.
No.
You can't hurt their feelings. You just can't. It's not going to happen. It's like at such a vibrational frequency, it's not going to happen. She's just laughing now. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. She's just saying this is correct. The vibrational frequency will continue to raise and lift here on the earth plane through the vessels of those incarnating here into the future and onwards. And many of you will recycle back here onto the earth plane and pick up where you left off. Really? What if we do a lot of work on the other side?
I want to be a sun kid.
Yeah, I want to be a sun kid.
One of those kids.
She says a lot of that work that you're going to do on the other side is going to be filtered in vibrationally through your vessel. But you will have a starting point here on Earth, and it will be picking up where you left off. You may advance and grow quickly due to the work that you've done on the other side. What does that mean? She's doing this in front of my face. It's too near, too close for them to see that for many of us. Yes. Okay, got it. Okay. Golden children from the sun, I think, is how, okay, referred to. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it possible that we could reincarnate as rainbow children or further advanced beings? Like, so do you see me coming in as a, again, this is a label, right? We're all going to like do the work. We're going to come back and do more work, and we're going to learn and grow as we go. So do you see that advancement in the next lifetime? So for example, my last 2 lifetimes were blue, and I skipped violet, and I came right on in as an indigo. So I said to Nancy and Tappy, I said, did I skip violet? And she said, yes, you did. So I must have done some work on the other side to do that. Thank goodness. My angel's laughing at me. Okay, with me. Okay. She says, always with you, Kristin. Yes, many of you will incarnate back onto the planet in new vessels with a higher vibrational frequency. And you can, if you wish, to label yourself a different life color if you so choose. But we liken it, or like to see it as, lifting and raising in frequency, all the while enjoying the journey. For this journey, this life, this path on Earth does not last forever. And there are many things that you get to experience while housed within these vessels temporarily that you will not be able to experience on the other side. So enjoy it while it lasts. Okay.
Eat all the pizza you want.
Yeah. Until the doctor wants to put that high blood pressure medication. Eat all the pizza you want tonight, and then start on a nice, good diet while you have pizza once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, you're cracking me up. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, go back and listen to the beginning so you can learn more about the indigo, crystal, and rainbow colors. Chances are, if you're, older in your 50s, you might be a blue or a violet. You might be then transitioning into an indigo coming you might be an indigo in your 50s. Some started out trickling into the 50s, 60s even, I'm sure. 50s, 60s, some trickled in. 50s, predominantly 50s. And then the first surge really was coming in if you're in your 40s, and then you're moving into many still incarnating even into your 30s, but a lot of crystals starting in at that time as well, transitioning in a blend of the two. And it will continue on down the line and with a blending as you move along as well with the crystals and the rainbows she's saying. And onwards. And onwards.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so does anybody have any other questions? My goodness, we are so blessed to have these rainbow children, but we're blessed to have everyone here. Everyone works together and participates, and we all get to lift and raise our own frequency. And you know what? Stop focusing on the lower aspects of your reality, because you're just going to continue to manifest more of those thoughts. Woe is me manifests more. Woe is me. Oh, look, it hasn't changed because I'm the manifester of my reality. What a shocker. Big shocker there. So, also, if you keep focusing on the lower aspects of your reality, you're just going to create more of the same. However, Agnes wants to interrupt me. And now I'm going to get schooled. Here we go. As the light is permeating and increasingly so here on the earth plane, as ascension takes place, as many are awakening, and the light keeps continue to permeate the planet and all of the inhabitants upon her back, many of you will find that your frequency will raise on its own as the light permeates within and through your vessels. So do not worry or be concerned. Simply turn your attention and move it in a different direction, and stop fixating on the lower aspects of your reality by way of thoughts and feelings, emotions. Also, the individuals that may be residing in your life, the locations where you may be working and or living. Many of you will be guided into this future here on earth to make changes. Some of these changes may feel or seem quite drastic to you, but they will be well worth it in the end. Thank you, dear ones. Does Pedadiah want to say anything?
She's giving me a thumbs up. Agnes,
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't see any other questions, and I thank you all for coming along on this ride with us. And let's just keep enjoying planet Earth and connecting with all of us high vibrational beings here and have a good time. That's what it's all about. I love that you came to join me, Ashley. I love all you guys. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you mañana. Bye.
Thanks, guys.